You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Look at the stars. The great kings of the past look down on us from those stars. So whenever you feel alone, just remember that those kings will always be there to guide you.
I don't think it is very useful to speculate on what God might or might not be able to do. Rather, we should examine what he actually does with the universe we live in.
We are all explorers, driven to know what's over the horizon. The most profound discoveries are not necessarily beyond that next star. They're within us, woven into the threads that bind us.
Hello, beautiful people. Happy Friday, happy Venus Day, and happy almost new moon in Virgo. If you're joining me live, thank you for being here. Rachel's here. BB is here sending hugs. Rachel just said she saw the behind the scenes. I went live a little bit early, a few minutes early on Instagram, and everybody got to see the setup here. So if you're not joining me on Instagram, maybe I'll start doing that more. Peeling back the curtain, showing my imperfections. Love you too, Rachel. Hey, Nick. Hello. Happy belated birthday, Nick. You guys are so sweet. So if you're finding this episode live, get comfy, get relaxed. We are going to be chatting about the full forecast surrounding the new moon in Virgo, the transits leading up to it that are setting the stage for it, how we can best use its energy. And really this whole weekend feels like it's about this new moon in Virgo. The new moon is exact at 1:16 a.m. Saturday morning Pacific time. So Saturday is really that day to soak in the energy of the new moon. And we're also going to go through each sign and give a quick horoscope for each sign. So how you specifically based on your chart can best use this energy. And if you're finding this video later, welcome. I'm going to go ahead and add markers on the timeline down below so you can easily navigate to whatever part of the video that you are seeking guidance on. So let's get into it. Happy Friday, beautiful people. Didn't get a notification for that from IG. It's all right. It's all good. It was just me being a weirdo. But yeah, just showed a little bit of me getting ready for the stream. Love showing you guys the behind the scenes. Love the personalized stuff. Yeah. I actually had a really great conversation. I did a reading earlier this week, and my client asked, how do I apply this to the daily transit forecasts? And that's something I am setting intentions on and working on over the next few months, is creating a container for you guys to learn how to specifically apply the transits to your chart. But horoscopes are a great start, especially because we talk about the houses in the horoscopes. So as we get into that in a few minutes, I'll explain a little bit further, but that's just a really great place to start with new moons, full moons, moon cycles, sun cycles, and just seeing where these bodies are moving through your own chart. And that's how we write horoscopes. He's winning all of your hearts today. Hello, Bailey. Happy to see you over here as well. Okay, let's get a check on the energy. The sun is in Virgo. The moon is technically in Leo right now. It's a void moon all day. The moon's not making any connections, some in conjunct angles, but nothing that we're really feeling. So Friday feels like a time to really just tie up loose ends until the moon moves into Virgo. And that happens at 5:25 p.m. So today's a day to not start anything new, maybe take it easy because the energy is really going to pick up tonight. And before I forget, as I usually do, let's talk about notable birthdays so we can tap into the energy of people who were born around this time, people that we know well. And I'm really excited about the first birthday. One of my favorite Virgos to talk about, probably a little bit self-righteous of me, which is a very Virgo thing, right? Mother Teresa is a Virgo and really embodies the highest expression of Virgo, in my opinion, of service, really devoting her life to the well-being of other people and just this pure energy, this pure nature about her. So she's a great Virgo to keep in mind when we're being critical or controlling, like what would Mother Teresa do? Let's just go back to that energy. Chris Pine is a Virgo. We will claim him. Thank you. Yes. Beautiful man. Love him. Sorry, Julian. Kiki Palmer is a Virgo, and she actually has a song out about being a Virgo, which is fun. So if you're a Virgo, maybe go ahead and check out that song. Melissa McCarthy is a Virgo. I didn't realize that. Macaulay Culkin, also a Virgo. I could see that. Kind of gives off like a little bit of an OCD vibe. James Harden, he's a Virgo. John Mulaney, the comedian. Lots of notable birthdays on August 26th. Wow. They just keep on going. And just for fun, who is celebrating a birthday this weekend? Tom Ford, Aaron Paul, both Virgos. Let's see. Anybody else popping out to you? It's interesting. Oh, I'm going to say her last name wrong, but she is from How I Met Your Mother and Scrubs, Sarah Chalke. We'll go with that. And finally, rounding out the weekend, August 28th, the Virgos, where are you at? Army Hammer. And I knew I had to go through the whole weekend because the queen herself, Shania Twain, is a Virgo, celebrating her birthday on August 28th. For those of you who don't know, we're going to go see her in Las Vegas next weekend, and I am so freaking excited. So for those of you who aren't following me on Instagram, didn't get the notification pop up when I went live a little bit early, this is my handle, and I'll be sharing all the Shania behind the scenes, really soaking in her Virgo magnificence. She also has her Venus in Leo, and we have Venus in Leo right now. So we're really feeling that Shania energy. Jennifer Coolidge is a Virgo, which I did not realize, and Jack Black too. Kind of hilarious, both of them with this Virgo energy. I would love to see their full charts. Sheryl Sandberg as well. Leanne Rimes. I could see that. She has this pure quality to her. Jason Priestley. Florence Welch of Florence and the Machine. Love her. Virgo vibes. All right. Well, that was fun, specifically for Shania Twain and Mother Teresa. The Virgos I identify with the most, and Beyonce, but we'll get there. She's September 4th. Trust me, I know this off the top of my head when Beyonce's birthday is. So if you are a Virgo, if you're celebrating a birthday this weekend, if you know someone celebrating a birthday, let us know in the comments so we can shout them out and celebrate them as well. Let's see. What are you guys saying? Oh, I love you all. Thank you so much for the super chat. Hugs, hugs, hugs. So much love to you. You are just a ray of sunshine in the chat every day, and I am so grateful for you being here. Seriously, I love your energy. A lot of people seem so shocked when I say read your horoscope for your rising rather than your sun sign. How do I explain this better for someone not deeply familiar with astrology? My go-to is just telling people your rising sign sets the precedent for your entire chart, the whole layout for your chart. And when we're reading horoscopes, the horoscopes are based on what part of your chart the sun or moon is moving through, or the major transits are moving through. And so often we just read our sun sign, but really horoscopes are based on the area of our chart, or most astrologers based horoscopes on the area of your chart that's being activated, which is truly based on your rising sign. So that's how I explain it. Sometimes people are like, oh, that makes sense. And then sometimes they're like, what? What's a rising sign? What's a birth chart? It kind of just depends where you catch people on their astrology journey. But yeah, or sometimes I just say, horoscopes are often based on the houses, and the houses are based on your rising sign. That's a really quick and easy way to tell people. Such a relaxing day. I meditated, journaled, just released all my anxiety, leaning into love and peace for this weekend. Beautiful way to lean into that 12th house energy. I believe this new moon will probably be around your 12th house. Rachel, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, it sounds like you're really soaking in the void moon, taking the nudge from the universe to slow down under the waning moon, under the void moon, and just be. And you're already so aligned. I love it. Right? We get to claim Mother Teresa. Like, what other sign gets to say that? Mother Teresa is like the creme de la creme of service. Just great, great Virgo energy. And don't be jealous of Chris Pine, okay? You're still my favorite, but we love that he's a Virgo. Can't deny it. And yeah, the best Virgo. I mean, I'm always identified with Shania Twain, but then when I found out she was a Virgo, I was like, makes sense. Basically, I'm her. Just kidding. But yeah, we're so excited. I can't wait to like share behind the scenes of Shania and our trip to Vegas. It's going to be so much fun. Yeah. Army is that scary Virgo Army Hammer. Yeah, you're like, I would expect you would go to Army Hammer's house and everything would be like perfectly organized and he would be like really uptight, you know? I could be wrong. I don't know the guy, but I do get the scary Virgo vibes from him. I have to remember LBJ's birthday is this weekend. Yes, another wonderful Virgo we can celebrate and identify with. LBJ. Love it. My sun sign connects with my transits. My rising doesn't. It's weird. And that's the other great thing. Being your own astrologer, right? Like I often read my sun and rising are the same. So, but also isn't your sun and rising one off from each other, or am I wrong about that? Because that can also affect it. That's why getting even further into it, your horoscopes really aren't my favorite thing because astrology is so much more intricate than that. So depending on the degree of your rising sign, the transits could fall in the house before the house that I'm talking about. I know that's convoluted, but it would be easier if I could like look at your chart and show you. 26 degrees Virgo. So this new moon won't be in your first house. Is that your sun or your rising? I can't remember. Anyway, lots of 12th house activation, right? So like, for example, I'll use myself as an example and I'll pull up the chart. I know we haven't even started the forecast yet, but this is a good precedent before we get into horoscopes. So I'm going to jump back a couple hours just so I can get like the layout of my chart and show you guys. Okay, this is close enough. So this is the chart of someone who has a Virgo rising. I have a Virgo rising, and Mercury just entered my first house. Maybe that will balance it out. Yeah, that can be a nice balance. You're starting to feel that first house energy, which is good, right? First house energy is a lot easier to deal with than 12th house energy. Okay, so this is actually probably very similar to Rachel's chart, right? So because I'm a Virgo rising, just because the new moon is in Virgo doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be in my first house, even though my first house is ruled by Virgo. So the new moon is actually going to be in my 12th house, just because it doesn't fall below that degree. My rising's at 18 degrees. So technically the new moon is still in my 12th house, but in the day following the new moon, I'll start to feel that first house energy as the moon moves into my first house. So sometimes it's worth noting that the horoscope you're hearing might take a day or two to kick in, you know? It might be more of a general energy to lean into. And again, you're your own best astrologer. You know yourself better than anybody else does in the world. I promise you that. So if you feel more aligned when you read your sun sign horoscope, do that. I like to read my sun and moon. I like to read the Scorpio horoscope too, even though I know it doesn't actually like apply to the houses. It's just kind of nice to see if anything resonates. That's just how I personally like to take in astrology. No right or wrong way to do it. Really enjoyed the Leo moon. Katie says, fun energy, playful energy, gave me an energy boost. Looking forward to see what this Virgo new moon brings. Yeah, Leo energy is light and playful and fun. We still have Venus in Leo, and Venus is making a couple connections. So we'll talk about that as we get going in the forecast. Oh, okay. Your sun is 9 degrees Libra. Your rising then is 26 Virgo. So yeah, this new moon will be in your 12th house, not your first house. And so you fall into the same category, BB, that I just mentioned, where although we say, okay, Virgo risings, this is your new moon, it's in your first house. Really, once the moon moves into Libra, you'll start to feel that first house energy. And even the Libra new moon in a month will be in your first house. So it might be like a little bit of a delay that kicks in. But unfortunately, we can't write specific horoscopes based on everybody's degree that their rising is at and that each house starts at. Some people don't even have balanced charts. Their houses start at different degrees all around their charts. So just really knowing yourself and knowing your chart and saying, okay, this new moon will be at 4 degrees Virgo. Where does that fall in my chart? What aspects is that making? That's truly the best way, in my opinion, to work with astrology. But I like to give little tidbits, nuggets for each sign, rising sign, on the new moon and full moon, just for people who are just getting into astrology to have something to kind of digest in the energy of Virgo season. Digestible information, right? Oh, the new moon will be in your 11th then. Interesting. Okay, yeah. So love that you're here, part of a community. 11th house is all about community, maybe sparking something new in your community. Aquarius sun, Cap rising here. Interesting to have them next to each other. Yeah, that's opposite of my partner. He is Cap sun, Aquarius rising. And Capricorn and Aquarius have a lot of similar energy in a lot of ways. But you probably come across as more reserved. And then once people get to know you, they're like, oh, you're kind of weird and like more eccentric than I thought you would be. Maybe you like hold your expression back just a little bit. Sun's dad is a Virgo and a Virgo moon. Pisces sun. Oh, full moon baby. Whew, he is definitely feeling the energy. And that Pisces full moon for him is probably going to be like really emotional. Yeah, definitely that polarity between Pisces and Virgo, right? I get confused. It's hard without like looking at your specific chart, but that's why I always say have a copy of your birth chart pulled up on your phone or on another window while you're watching these live streams, because when I say this is what's happening at this degree, it's nice to be able to just look at your chart and be like, okay, where does that degree fall in my chart? That's for me the best way to track the transits. That's what makes the most sense to me. That would be a chart reading. Yeah. When you do horoscopes, I listen to them all and take what resonates anywhere. Yes, that's what I always say. Sometimes you'll tune in too, and I'll be like on a different horoscope. And if it's what you needed to hear right when you tuned in, I trust that that's the message that needs to come through. And I do that all the time with like, if I hop onto someone's live who's doing tarot readings or anything like that, right when I hop on, if there's a message that I hear that resonates, I'm like, oh, okay, that was the message for me. It's no coincidence that the timing worked out that way. So yeah, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Yep, that's me. You guys are chatty today. What numbers should I look for? I'm so confused still. I will explain this once we get into the forecast. Yep, I do too. Very Virgo thing to do. I have a folder with my birth chart, my partner's birth chart, some graphics, our human design charts, like always, so I can just go. And I always make sure to have a chart saved that has the degrees on it. So AstroSeek, this website that I use for all my forecasting, they have a great birth chart tool. It's not the most aesthetically beautiful as my Virgo Libra energy would like, but it does have all the degrees, and they actually have a specific calculator for asteroids too. If you want to go real deep, that's something that I've been playing around with too. The idea of offering a container where we explore each of the asteroid placements in our chart. But, astrology is a never-ending study. You know what you need to know in this moment. And if there's something you're curious about, follow that curiosity, let it lead the way. You have that Virgo Scorpio energy, and so do I. Scorpio rising. So we'll get to the horoscopes in just a minute. Yeah, I print my family's chart out and make notes. That's super helpful too. Knowing everybody in your family's energy, what's going on with them. Yeah. Wow, we're on the same wavelength. Yeah, you've been studying asteroids too. Okay, let's get into today's energy because I could just sit here and chat with you all forever. Starting with what's playing out tonight. So we talked about being under a void moon for most of the day today. Then the moon moves into Virgo at about 5:30 p.m. and doesn't make any connections. The moon is not making any major connections all day today, but we do have 2 planetary connections that start to play out by this evening. So first and foremost, Venus is squaring Uranus. Yesterday, we talked a lot about Venus squaring the north and south nodes. Well, remember, Uranus is right there next to the north and south nodes. So today, Venus at 18 degrees over here, is squaring Uranus, and you can see that dark red line marking the square between the two. Venus being the planet of love, beauty, money. Venus in Leo, very passionate, romantic, bold energy when it comes to our relationships and the things that we're attracted to. We're more magnetic with Venus and Leo, right? Uranus and Taurus is a different vibe, and that's why the two of them are clashing. So what does this mean for us with Venus squaring Uranus? Well, this is happening at 9:30 p.m. exactly. So as the day goes on, we're going to start to feel this energy really build. And I could see us being very flirty with Venus squaring Uranus. Essentially, Uranus makes us crave a thrill, especially when it's involved in a tense 90-degree angle. It's like, we want to feel good and we crave pleasure with Venus squaring Uranus, but not in a comfortable way, in like an exciting, thrilling way. So we might want to try something new tonight, or go on a date, or have a unique experience, express ourselves differently, express our affection differently. It's a great day to play with different forms of creative expression as well. Yesterday, with Venus squaring the North and South nodes, we talked about marking this turning point in relationships. And now that Venus is squaring Uranus tonight, it's like, okay, we rounded that corner and we're ready for a fresh energy, and we can really play into it. Play in the unknown, play with kind of weird energy, like weirdness, in our relationships. We might even have like a dramatic moment with Venus and Leo with wanting to change up our appearance or the aesthetic. So this feels like excitement that comes after that turning point of, okay, like we're ready for something fresh. We're ready for something new. I would say this is not the day to like chop off all your hair or do anything cosmetic. Go get a tattoo, because we're craving a thrill and we're craving something like a quick change, excitement, with Uranus in the mix. And Venus being our appearance, if you're feeling like you get this like download, like I'm going to get a tattoo today, don't do it. Like, just hold off, really sit with it under the new moon and see if that's what you really want. Maybe not a day to make permanent changes, but maybe you try a new restaurant, or you go mini golfing for a date with your loved ones or your kids. Venus isn't just about romance. It's about those one-on-one relationships. Maybe try a new way of styling your hair rather than cutting it off, or try a new way of doing your makeup. Wear a funky outfit to play into this energy and kind of appease that urge for a thrill or that urge to do something differently. You might be drawn to financial risks today too, with Venus ruling our money, squaring Uranus, making us feel like we need to make a financial change. We need to make a change in our appearance. We need to make a change in our relationships, right? Again, not the day to fly by the seat of your pants and just go with it. If your intuition is really strongly telling you to do something, hold off on it. It's Friday. We don't need to make financial investments on a Friday, especially the moon is void right now. This is exact at like 9 p.m. Not the time to be working with money decisions. So yes, follow that thrill in a healthy way. Have fun. Be playful with Venus and Leo. Use this in a very lighthearted way and avoid making knee-jerk decisions, investments, risks that could lead to regret later on. Just keep it light and playful with Venus squaring Uranus. That's my best advice. Don't do anything that you might wake up tomorrow morning and regret. Yeah, freak flag night. Like, go to a bar you've never gone to before. Go dance. Dancing would be a great way to use the energy tonight. Go out dancing, and like, don't be afraid to like do some like sprinkler on the dance floor, do some funky dance moves, play that funky music. That feels like the soundtrack of the night tonight with Venus squaring Uranus. Oh yeah, we just got food from a Peruvian restaurant. It was so good. Yeah, trying a new kind of food, trying something eccentric or different for you. I love that. Totally playing into the energy. I've been manifesting big changes in my marriage, and they're finally coming to fruition. So grateful for knowing the astrology to support this process. You're turning that corner with Venus squaring the North and South nodes. And I will say, again, I always love your input, Katie. It always is like a light bulb moment for me. Uranus often brings innovation and insight as well. And so pay attention to any pings of inspiration or insight that come through about your relationships, even about your finances today. That doesn't mean you need to act on them necessarily, although you're going to have the urge to act on them, trust me. But write them down. That can be your action. Write down the idea and revisit it after the new moon. But for you, Katie, you know, you've been sharing this and you've been so beautifully vulnerable with us all, and I love that about you. And it might just be that you see things in a new light with Venus squaring Uranus. Like, it's just that realization, that new perspective, as Uranus loves to give us, about your relationships. Yeah, so awesome and so happy for you, Katie. I love it. So that's the first transit we're feeling at 9:30. Then by 11:30, we have the next major transit. So it's like I said, the energy builds throughout the day today. Once the moon moves into Virgo, it's like a reset on the moon's energy, and we're wanting to feel more productive. We're wanting to get a little bit busier, and we have a lot of kind of agitation on this Friday. We have two major squares playing out that are like putting this fire under us to do something, to do it differently. The sun is squaring Mars, and this is really going to play into the energy of the new moon just a couple hours later. But we're probably going to feel this late Friday night. The sun squaring Mars. This makes us want to move. This gives us energy. It makes us a little agitated, maybe even a little aggressive. So if you do find yourself craving a thrill, going out, maybe partaking in some beverages on a Friday night, don't get yourself into a bar fight. Like, just don't do it. The energy is like at a high here. And it's almost like the sun squaring Mars just adds fuel to the fire. You know, it's like gives us more energy to burn. We have a lot more motivation to be out, to do things, especially with Venus squaring Uranus at the same time. We want to take action. We feel this urge to take action. But what's interesting with the sun in Virgo, there is this element of trying to control things as well. So this square between the Virgo sun and Mars and Gemini could make us come across as more like harsh or domineering. We want to be careful with how we're expressing ourselves because it could just be like, this is what I want to do and I want to do it my way. You know, I see that being the energy of the sun squaring Mars, especially with that Virgo sun. Like, I want to do this right now. I want to do it my way. I'm craving the thrill. This is what I want. And kind of wanting to control the situation rather than just being in the flow and being in fun energy and going along. I will say these are both mutable signs. The sun and Mars are both immutable signs. So we can be more adaptive, but we just want to be aware of not trying to control every little detail. Also, when the sun squares Mars, we could feel the need to challenge authority. We can be really direct and aggressive. And again, that's why I say, like, don't get yourself into a bar fight or into an ego battle with someone else. The sun squaring Mars definitely signifies an ego battle. And the sun in Virgo is like, I'm right. Obviously, I'm right. I'm correct, you know? So just have awareness around that. And it's not worth getting into it. Even if you think you are right, just sometimes it's the best peace of mind to be like, okay, you're right. Even if you're like secretly like, no, I'm right. You know, just being like, okay, you're right, and letting it be. That's my best piece of advice tonight as the sun squares Mars, especially, again, if we're under the influence or in a really high energy environment. We often don't take into account how much we're feeding off of other people's energy. So it might be that you're a peacemaker. You don't want to fight, but someone else is kind of poking at you or trying to get under your skin. Just be aware of that and protect your energy. Know that you don't have to play into anyone else's ego trips that they're going on. Watch how you're expressing yourself. Watch the tendency to poke and agitate other people too. This feels like we're coming on really strong, you know, so that's not a bad thing. It's good to be bold. It's good to take up space, but we just want to make sure we are not being too aggressive in the process, right? When in doubt, burn off that excess energy that this is going to bring by moving your body. Move your body, go out dancing, do some push-ups if you're feeling, you know, agitated, go on a late night run, get between the sheets, whatever looks good for you. Burn off that energy in a healthy way. If you're finding yourself getting agitated, ask, okay, what can I do with this energy right now? Like, how can I be intentional about how I'm using this burst of energy I'm getting right now? And this can come across as like anxiety too, especially with the sun in Virgo. We can be a little more anxious. So if you're feeling anxious, how can you ground yourself? How can you come back to your own energy and not, I think there's a tendency that a lot of us have when we're feeling anxious to be like, oh, I'm anxious. Like, I want you to feel this too. I want you to make me feel better. But instead, just focus inward. We're still under the dark moon tonight. So focus inward on and reflect on where that's coming from and how you can burn it off yourself, how you can address your own anxiousness. It could just be putting on a song for 5 minutes and dancing, going out and grounding yourself on the earth, looking up at the stars. These are great ways to move through any tense energy that pops up, and trying something new, trying something different with Venus squaring Uranus. So maybe you don't normally go sit outside at night, but tonight you might want to try that if you're feeling extra energy, or go dance under the stars. Better yet, I don't know if you all saw, I posted a lot about it on Instagram. There's a theme here, me posting on Instagram. Britney Spears and Elton John just dropped a new song together. It's a remix of Tiny Dancer. Highly recommend listening to it. And that would be a fun way to play in this energy tonight. Dance it out, move it out. If you're a fan of Elton or Britney, I mean, you can't go wrong by listening to the remix, right? Okay, yeah, very helpful. Finances are coming up. Perspectives and realizations abound. Beautiful, beautiful. The time the sun is squaring Mars is 11:27 p.m., so late tonight. And because the sun is squaring Mars just before the new moon, the whole new moon is squaring Mars. So that's what we'll talk about next, how Mars is really playing a big role in this new moon. I see family this weekend. Excited to see my nieces and nephews, but hopefully this will add more fire to the triggers. But remember, you can control yourself. You can take that space if you need it. Walk away, ground yourself for 5 minutes. Go listen to a song in your car, in the bathroom. Like, take breaks if you need them. Yeah, there's probably going to be a little bit more of an anxious, aggressive energy throughout the weekend, but that doesn't mean that you're bound to have this like blow up with family. You're aware of it. You're in control of it. If other people aren't aware of it and they're having their own stuff, you don't have to be part of it. You know, you can have boundaries and remove yourself from any tense situations you don't want to be in, because you're your own person and you're allowed to, you're an adult, you know, you're allowed to be involved in whatever you want to be involved in and remove yourself when you don't want to. Oh yeah, BB's got my back. She already answered your question. I miss moving my body as much. Stupid broken foot is taking forever to heal. Oh, just do some chair dancing. You know, I could dance anywhere. I love it to do a car dance, you know, upper body movement. Move where you can, or even just listen to the music and let that be the movement that flows through you. But I empathize, you know, that must suck having a broken foot. And I'm sending you healing vibes for it to get better as quickly as possible so you can be on the dance floor again. I need to order a new foot. Yeah. Right. Hate confrontation. Not a fan either. We talked about this yesterday. You know, some people, those Aries out there, Geminis too, tonight with Mars and Gemini, they could be the ones feeling that aggression, like, I'm ready for a battle, you know. If you're not one of those people, you don't have to be part of the battle. You can just be an observer. Let that be your entertainment. You know, like, okay, these people are having a thing and I'm just going to be here watching. I don't have to take on the energy. I don't have to feel what they're feeling. I'm just going to be that silent observer and let this play out. As long as you're not in any danger, let that be your entertainment for the night. Okay, so that's our Friday forecast. Lots of transits building up to the new moon and really setting the stage. It's like we're stepping into a different energy. We're feeling this like shake up, you know, like right before you shake up a snow globe, or as you're shaking up a snow globe, right before everything starts to fall. That feels like the energy leading up to this new moon, with the new moon being the moment of stillness, of like, oh, okay, now I can set my intentions. So if you're feeling a little agitated or like energy building up to this new moon, know that there's a reason for that. The new moon in Virgo is at 4 degrees. So this is a great time to look at your birth chart. Where does 4 degrees Virgo fall in your chart? And now we're talking about our Saturday forecast, which is literally only about the new moon. Our entire focus on Saturday is the new moon and the connection it makes to Mars. And that is it. That's it. So a really easy, I shouldn't say easy to navigate, but there's a lot of clarity that can come through because there's not a whole lot of other energy that we're feeling in the same day as the new moon. And with the new moon being exact at about 1:15 a.m. Pacific time, Saturday's a really great day to work with the new moon. We don't talk about this quite as much, but a full moon, we say you can manifest or work with it, do your rituals 3 days before, 3 days after. In my opinion, the new moon, it's best to work with it after the new moon, after the moon is new and the cycle begins again. That's really the time to plant those seeds, set your intentions. And as the moon starts to gain more light, you can see those seeds begin to grow and manifest. So Saturday night, even Sunday night, the moon will be in Virgo all weekend. We're really immersed in this Virgo moon energy for the weekend. It's all we are feeling this weekend. So I love that. There's a real pure nature to this new moon. And of course, as a Virgo and with the new moon in Virgo, I love that. It's like we're only feeling this Virgo moon on Saturday. So let's talk about Virgo energy just for a moment. I know we've talked about it a bunch lately. And, I guess you can't see on the stream. I've got my Virgo shirt on, really tapping into that Virgo energy. And this new moon feels, because we're talking about Virgo energy and purity and cleanliness and control, this new moon feels like a clean slate. It feels like we have done a lot of work and now we are starting from bare earth. We're wiping the slate clean. We can look to the future with fresh eyes and set very pure intentions. Again, with it just being about the new moon on Saturday, a great day to really use that darkness that the new moon brings to go within and find those pure intentions within. What do we really want? And clearly envisioning what we want can strengthen that manifestation practice, setting intentions under the new moon. And it's important to note, with Virgo being the sign of service, the intentions we set can have a really profound impact on the people around us. Incorporating that into your intentions. How can my desires help the people around me? And it doesn't have to be that, I want to start a nonprofit and that's my intention. Even if your intention is, I want to make $10,000 in the next 6 months, or whatever that looks like to you. That was just a very arbitrary example. I want to, we'll use money as an example because a lot of times people manifest money. Remember, abundance is not just about money, but I'm sure there are people finding this that are going to want to manifest when it comes to money. So let's say you want to call in $10,000 more dollars. Okay, as you're setting your intentions under the Virgo new moon, envision, what will you do with that $10,000? How will that help the people around you? That's not to say you have to give the money away, but if you are investing that money into yourself or into your home, that's going to increase the value of your neighborhood as well. If you are investing that money into your wellness, you'll be able to show up better for the people around you. So take your intentions a step further and ask yourself, how can what I'm calling in impact the people around me? Maybe you are calling in health, like BB, calling in a new foot or a healed foot. So if that's what you're calling in under the new cycle, okay, how would it feel to have this nice strong foot again? And how would that help you in your relationships, better serve your partner because you'll probably be more mobile around your house? How can that help you at work or in your community because you're able to move more and contribute more with your health? So again, it's going to be different for everybody, but just thinking about how can what I'm calling in affect the people around me, coming back to service when you are setting intentions. Ask not what others can do for you, but what you can do for other people with what you're calling in. And there's an energy of excitement around this new moon because it is squaring Mars. So there's a burst of motivation that comes with it. And, Virgo loves to plan things, loves to have the next steps laid out one by one, but know where the road is taking us, know where we're going. And there's really this vibe of like productivity, like whatever we set intentions for under this new moon, we're like, we've already figured out how we're going to get there. It's like we can see the path ahead very clearly under this Virgo energy. We're very analytical. We understand what it takes to be productive and get to the thing that we really want. So just know that like if you can see something clearly and you're manifesting it, that really enhances it. I think personally, I'm a specific manifester when we get into types of manifestation, and so when I can envision something, I can make it happen. Some people are non-specific manifestors and they have to just kind of be in the energy of it. So if that's you and you need to feel more what you're manifesting before you actually like see it come to fruition, be in the energy of service, be in the energy of what you want to call in, be in the energy of abundance. If you're calling in abundance, go out dancing tonight. That's a great way to set the stage to call in more abundance, if you ask me. Whatever you intend to manifest under this new moon is going to be supercharged by the magic of the full moon in Pisces in a couple of weeks. Pisces energy is very magical, very mystical. And so, there's a lot of magic. It's this duality of practicality and belief, right? It's knowing and trusting. Two different energies, but they really play together beautifully in Virgo season because we are able to clearly use our rational mind and be like, okay, this is what I want. I can see it clearly. And then in the coming weeks, as we get closer to the Pisces full moon, there's this element of trust that comes into play that allows that magic of belief to be weaved into our intentions. And I really see the Pisces full moon as supercharging whatever we call in over the weekend. Let's talk a little bit more, I should say, about this new moon squaring Mars. What are you guys saying? Don't say that. My guy is a Gemini sun with Mars and Aries. Oh, Mars and Aries. So he is masculine and motivated. He'll be fine. But if he's a little feisty tonight, just laugh at it. Just be like, the sun. Sometimes it's helpful for me to be like, I will literally tell Julian, I will literally tell my partner, like, the sun is squaring Mars tonight. I feel like you're being a little aggressive. And that kind of takes the blame off of them, like you're just feeling this energy and it's fine. And I don't know, for him at least, he's Capricorn, so he likes to have logic-based thinking. So it helps him understand like, oh, I am feeling a little aggressive and like have a reason for it. You know what I'm saying? So if he's into all the woo-woo stuff, it could be helpful to be like, hey, babe, sun is squaring Mars tonight. And you might be feeling that a little bit, just FYI. Go to sleep early. Exactly. You can just avoid the aggression. If we all just go to sleep early tonight, right? Responsibility under the Virgo moon. We're just going to take it easy. My Mars and Gemini, and we are not letting her out. But don't suppress it either. If she needs to come out, let her out in a healthy way. Go scream into a pillow. That's healthy. Whoa, you guys, a moth is like crawling on my window right now. Weird. Anyway, you don't want to bottle her up either. You don't want to bottle up that Mars energy because it'll come out even hotter and feistier eventually. So let her out through dance, let her out through singing, let her out through going on a run or round, whatever it looks like for you. But just be mindful about how you're expressing that aggression or that energy. Both my husband and daughter have midheaven in Virgo. Gonna have to look into that. So most likely this new moon is going to be very expansive for both of them. It'll probably be in their 9th house. And that can be like a really just expansive energy, really abundant energy. They might want to learn something new or just like feel really optimistic and abundant. So it feels like a really great moon for their energy. Ripple effect mindset. Yeah, definitely. See, yeah, full permission. Scream in the pillow. Scream in the pillow if you need to. Mars is going to be in Gemini for a while, so keep that in your back pocket. If you don't need it today, you might need it in a couple weeks, and that's okay. Anger is part of the natural spectrum of human emotions. When we suppress it, we run into issues. We store it in the body. It becomes disease. We don't want that. Let it out in a healthy way. Yes. Love anything in the 9th house. The 9th house is just like, I see it as just like a gold mine of opportunity. The 9th house is just chef's kiss. Yes, love it. So the new moon squaring Mars, this happens at 2 a.m. right as the moon is becoming new. It squares Mars. And this is similar to the energy of the sun squaring Mars, right? Because let me show you on the chart here, just so we can get a visual. I'm a very visual person, and I think it might be helpful. Let me back up like a few hours here so we can really see this play out. Let me see. Okay, close enough. I think that'll do. Being super particular as a Virgo. Okay, there we are. Beautiful, beautiful. Look at that big old T-square playing out. Vesta is part of the T-square. We're not going to talk about Vesta. She moves very quickly, speaking of asteroids. Or actually, that's the vertex, not Vesta. Again, something we don't need to concern ourselves with. But the moon and sun are together. That is the new moon, right? This is right after the moon becomes new, the chart we're looking at here, and both squaring Mars in Gemini, 4 degrees. So 4 degrees Gemini in your chart is really being activated too by Mars right now. If there's a placement there or something really prominent there, even I will say as well, if you have anything at 4 degrees Sagittarius, that kind of becomes the completion of this T-square, and that could really be activated during this new moon as well. Really anything at 4 degrees of the mutable signs in your chart is going to be, you're going to be feeling that energy. You're going to be feeling that play into this new moon for you. But this is what we talk about when we say the new moon, the moon and sun together, squaring Mars. So when the sun squares Mars, we talked all about that already. There's like a burst of energy, a little bit of aggravation. We kind of want to, our ego can take over a little bit. We kind of want to poke at authority, poke at anybody trying to control us. We want to be in control, especially with all this Virgo energy. When the moon squares Mars, it makes us restless. It makes us agitated, even reactive is a great way to describe the moon squaring Mars. So don't be surprised if you get woken up from your sleep overnight, or if you have aggressive dreams. The new moon squaring Mars, when most of us are still asleep, can create a little agitation and restlessness. But as you wake up under this beautiful new moon, and this is the energy we feel all day Saturday, no other connections, all day Saturday, it's really like lighting a fire under us in a lot of ways to put those intentions into action immediately. It will feel like, okay, we got to do this now, like we got to set this into motion immediately. That's not true, right? We have plenty of time. We have a whole moon cycle to like really work with this energy of the new moon, and a whole 6 months, honestly, to really see those intentions bloom that we set under the new moon. But don't be surprised if you wake up with like a fire lit under your ass. Like, I am ready to be productive under this new moon. I'm ready to set intentions. I'm going to do all my rituals, all the things today. I'm going to make a to-do list. Saturday, you're going to want to organize things, make a to-do list, like really feeling that Virgo moon energy. Maybe even cleaning your house on Saturday. You're like, I want to have a clean slate for these intentions to manifest. So expect motivation, expect a burst of energy, expect a little bit of agitation too. Mars is the planet of aggression. There's no way around that. But channel your energy with intention. Channel your energy into your intentions. Think about tonight, especially, or tomorrow morning, have a quiet moment. Think about your intentions over the weekend at some point, and then use this square to Mars to start putting them into action, even if it's just one small step. Even maybe your intention is to save money. Take a $5 bill and put it in an envelope. That can be the action you take that supports the intention you set. So this is I love this energy because it really forces us in a lot of ways, gives us the urge, with it being this tense square, to start working with our intentions immediately, start putting them into action immediately. And I'm sure there will be people in the spiritual community that think like it's toxic to be like, I'm just going to immediately manifest. That's not to say that you have to, but if you are feeling the energy and feeling the inspiration to start moving forward, why stop yourself? Mars is there to give you that push and that motivation. Virgo rising. So this new moon will probably be in your 12th house, as we talked about, but coming into Virgo season, as Virgo season goes on, you're really going to start feeling probably really good. As the sun and moon move through your first house, it's like a renewed sense of self for you, Carla. Yes, leaning into your Virgo organizing energy. You'll have the energy, so use it intentionally. It's my nephew's birthday party. So yes, decoration. Perfect way for you to use this energy on Saturday. Attention to detail is really big with this Virgo moon, and Mars just gives us the energy. It's like the Energizer Bunny. We're just like, oh, we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to have the to-do list, and we're going to cross off all the things on the to-do list. Yeah. It's like we all get a little sneak peek of what it's like to be a Virgo with this new moon squaring Mars, because Mars just gives us the energy that many Virgos often have to do all the things, you know? So I personally love this square to Mars. It also comes with a caveat to be nice to people. Don't be too aggressive. Don't be too harsh or direct. Virgo energy can be pretty harsh. And the one thing I will say as well, Virgo is associated with extremely high standards, extremely high expectations. So don't set intentions with such high expectations of achieving them immediately that you set yourself up for disappointment or stress or anxiety, because those are all possibilities too. This can bring an anxious energy, which is why it's like move that energy through you, use it intentionally, you know, and if we don't have an outlet for it, that's where anxiety and agitation and restlessness can come in. So waking up and working out immediately, if you are feeling that energy, would be really helpful. It feels a little bit like being a kid on Christmas morning. Like you're so excited and you have all this energy, but in the same breath, I don't know if you guys ever had this, but I would feel really like sad after Christmas morning was over, because I'm like, oh, I had such high expectations I set for myself. And not that Christmas wasn't fun, but when it's over, it's like, oh, that was it, you know? So that kind of plays into the energy of not setting expectations so high under this new moon that you burn yourself out, or you end up being disappointed by not getting enough done that you thought you were supposed to get done on Saturday or in the next week or something like that. Just know that you're guided, you're led. Release a little bit of control under this new moon, and that should help out. If you're still feeling like you wake up under the new moon and you have a lot of anxiety, movement is your friend. And moving energy through you can be that thing that clears the slate and gives you that fresh start, so you're not holding on to any stagnant energy as you move forward in this new moon cycle. So that's what's going on with the new moon. Thank you for saying that. I feel that anxiety with my Virgo moon, Cap rising. Yeah, for sure. That is an anxious energy, high expectations, determined work ethic. Love this. I mean, I personally love that for your chart. But also such high expectations and perfectionism can be debilitating and deflating, like you said. So yeah, remember, it's not all going to happen right away. Work with the energy you have, get excited about what you can accomplish, and know that if you don't get everything done on your to-do list, or it doesn't play out exactly how you want it to or how you expected it to on Saturday, that doesn't mean it's not going to happen for you. It doesn't mean that it's never going to happen. It just means the universe has a better plan than you did. So surrender to the universe. Okay. Oh, breathe. Starting a 40-day Kundalini Monday. Oh, perfect time to start that. Perfect time to start that. Something we didn't talk about is that this is a great new moon to start a new routine under. Virgo rules the 6th house. It's all about our health, wellness, daily habits, and routines. So setting intentions from that mindset as well. And that kind of goes back into service, right? How can we better take care of ourselves and have a better routine every day so we can show up as our best selves for the people around us, so we can better serve them with our purest, most beautiful energy possible. We have to take care of ourselves before we can take care of other people. So if you've been feeling, and I've definitely been feeling like I need to get into I don't want to use the word better. I need to get into a healthier routine for me personally. this is the new moon to do it. And Mars is there to give us the motivation, to give us that slap in the butt. Like, we're going to start this. We're starting the new routine. We're starting it under the Virgo new moon. It is the perfect time, even if it's waking up and journaling 5 things you're grateful for, waking up and stretching first thing in the morning. One small thing that you can commit to every day that can just jumpstart a whole new routine for you under the Virgo new moon. I give myself permission not to be perfect. Absolutely, Rachel. Absolutely. My theme that's come up for me already this Virgo season, showing you all my imperfections, showing off the fact that I am just a freaking human and that even though I'm a Virgo, I don't have it all figured out as much as I wish I did. So yeah, and people love imperfections. That's what I've noticed too. The messier I show up, people relate to me more. And it's really hard to like be that way as a Virgo. It's really hard not to see the imperfection and push it away, but really learning to play into that as well. Yeah, that's an amazing time to start a new practice. Thank you for sharing that, Rachel. Yeah, I think a lot of us needed to hear that. Progress over perfection. Absolutely. Another great mantra, and great for this Virgo new moon too. Taking that one small step, moving the needle forward just a little bit, sparking that new routine, that new system, that new process, and seeing how it expands over the next 6 months. You don't have to have it perfect now, just making the progress, moving forward just a little bit. Yeah, great. Great affirmations, you guys. Yeah, great timing. Sending love to you. Thank you for being here. We just love having you in this community. You're the best. Okay, let's go through what energy this new moon is bringing for each rising sign, and then we'll round out the forecast with our Sunday transits. We've been here a while, I know, but you guys are just chatty today, and I can't help myself. I just want to chat away with you. What the new moon means for you based on your rising sign. So as we talked about, this is a great time to pull out your birth chart. I'll be talking about what house we're referring to with each sign. So if you are an advanced student of astrology, look at where 4 degrees Virgo falls in your birth chart. What house is it in? And listen up for that house. That's the way you're going to have the most accurate horoscope or accurate advice. I don't even want to call it advice, but just accurate view of how this new moon is affecting you. If you don't know your rising sign, listen for your sun sign, listen for anything that resonates and take it. Take whatever resonates, leave what doesn't. As always, you can get a free copy of your birth chart by scanning the QR code, or there's a link down in the description. So here we go. We will start with the first house and with our Virgo risings. So my Virgo risings, this new moon will be moving into our first house. The first house is the house of self, identity, purpose, even appearance. So this new moon in a lot of ways feels like a rebirth. This Virgo season feels like a rebirth, stepping further into your purpose. And as you're celebrating another revolution around your own astrology chart, starting again at the first house, the sun has moved through all houses in your chart. The moon in the past month has moved through all the houses in your chart. When it lands back in the first house, we can set clear intentions about who we want to become. As Virgo risings, as Virgos, this is a time in Virgo season to really get clear and find some clarity about who you're becoming. Reflect on all the past versions of yourself. Give thanks for all the versions of yourself that got you here. But this is the time to look to the future and set intentions on how can I become the next best version of myself? And how can I be even more authentic, lean even more into my purpose? So this new moon is all about you, Virgo risings. Who are you becoming? Who do you intend to become? And with Mars there squaring off the new moon, it's really asking you, what small actions can you take to further step into your purpose? Doesn't have to be anything big. Maybe just one thing you do this weekend that feels like it's really authentic and helping you step further into who you're supposed to become. And that might be something expansive with Mars likely in your 9th house. Okay. Leo risings. This new moon lands in the 2nd house for you. The 2nd house is our house of values, of physical resources. So if you're a Leo rising, you might actually be thinking a lot about money and manifesting this new moon, and that would be pretty aligned for you. So get clear before you're like, I want to have $1 million, or I want to call in this new car or this new house or these things. First, a great place, a very pure place to start from with intention setting for you, Leo risings, is getting clear on what's truly important to you. What do you value? And when you're rooted in your values and what's really important in your life to you specifically, you become a magnet for the things that you desire. So ask yourself, why? Why do I want to call in this money? Why do I want to call in the next job? Why do I want to call in a new car? Why is that important to me? Why is this physical abundance going to make my life better? And getting clear on the why just makes it easier to call it in. And also, you know, as we talked about with the sign of service, how can these physical things I'm calling in, money, job opportunities, things like that, how are they going to help me serve other people? How are they going to help me be a better steward of the earth, of my family, of my home, of my friends? So again, coming back to values, why do I want the things I want? Okay. Cancer risings. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it is in your 12th house. So you're like me. We're going to have to wait probably until like Sunday for the new moon energy to really kick into our first house. A lot of the Virgo risings, because this is such a low degree new moon, you might pay attention to the sign that comes after your sign, if that makes sense. So like when we get to Libra rising, some of the Virgo risings might align with that energy a little bit more in this current moment. But again, I'm trying to name all the houses so you can identify what house we're talking about. Okay, moving on to our Cancer risings. We're talking about the third house for you. So Cancer risings, crystal clear communication can come through for you under this new moon. The third house is all about talking, taking in information, communicating, our sibling relationships, our friendships, just exchanging information with other people and being open to new information as well. So new information can easily be digested for this Cancer risings out there, setting intentions around what do I want to learn in the next chapter? Who do I want to learn from? Maybe there's a new schooling opportunity or a new guide or mentor that presents themselves to you under this new moon. Starting to study something new now that maybe you've been thinking about. This would be a great time to crack open that book, start a new course, and it could lead to mastering a new skill by the time we celebrate the full moon in Virgo in 6 months from now. So this would be a great time if you're a Cancer rising to set intentions around learning something new, either a new skill or a new, field of study. New information can come to you very easily now. Gemini risings. Get back to your roots. This new moon is in your 4th house if you're a Gemini rising. And that's where you'll find clarity, going back to the root of it all, going back to your foundation, the family you grew up in. And there's an element of analysis that comes up with the Virgo new moon. And I really see this especially for Gemini risings because it's a time that you can analyze your lineage, the beliefs passed down from your grandparents' generation to your parents' generation, then passed down to you. And maybe that you're already starting to pass down onto your children and the family you're building for yourself. Or even your partner, how your parents related to each other and now how you relate to your partner. So this is really putting focus on your home and family and your roots if you're a Gemini rising. This is a great time to get clear on what patterns and traditions that you do want to pass on, and maybe some that are best left in the past generation. So where do you want to wipe the slate clean and start new traditions? And what is really deeply ingrained, Gemini risings, that you really feel is important to carry on to the next generation and to keep alive in your lineage? Okay, Taurus risings. This is a fun new moon for you. How can you have more fun every day in your day-to-day life? The Virgo new moon really lights up our daily routines, our daily activities. It's why I come on here every day. This is my morning ritual with you all, or my daily ritual, right? Can this apply to Gemini moons as well? Yeah, I mean, if it feels like it resonates with a Gemini moon, the new moon will be making this aspect to your moon. So if it feels like it resonates, take it. Absolutely. Like I said, I always like to read my rising, my sun, and my moon horoscopes just to see if I can pull anything from any of them. So you have energy in that part of your chart. And yeah, also Mars is in Gemini and probably close to your moon right now. And Mars is really playing into this moon. So definitely probably going to feel that Gemini moon energy. Okay, back to our Taurus risings. Taurus risings, have some fun. How can you incorporate more fun in your day-to-day life? Yeah, you have the grit, the determination to get work done. You're probably very productive if you're a Taurus rising. And you're comfortable. You're comfortable in your environment. But how can you have more fun? This new moon is in your 5th house of playfulness, of creativity, of the inner child. How can you let your inner child be involved in your day-to-day activities? We talked a lot about starting new routines. For you, Taurus rising, setting an intention around one fun thing you can incorporate into your daily routine can be really powerful. So how can you play more, just a little bit more every day? Set intentions from that mindset. And when we're in that playful light energy, we can call in more of what we want. You know, we're more tuned into spirit, tuned into positive energy. So have more fun, play more under this new moon, and set intentions around, like, ask yourself, what's fun for me and how can I do it more every day? Aries risings. This new moon, speaking of routines, is a great opportunity for you to start a new wellness routine. The new moon is in your 6th house, traditionally ruled by Virgo, and it's all about daily habits, health and wellness, the small things we do every day that make up our overall picture of wellness. So what can you shift or adjust in your daily routine to contribute to your overall wellness? Aries risings, that's the question to ask yourself and the intentions to set under this new moon. Maybe it's just simply starting slow, journaling every morning. Or if you're an Aries rising, maybe it's starting fast and sweating every day, committing to, for the next even just 2 weeks, as the new moon builds, see if you can stick to a daily routine and see how that feels by the full moon. If you want to make adjustments, you can, but I have a feeling whatever intentions you set for your wellness routine are really going to expand and compound and end up feeling really good over the coming weeks. So set realistic goals you can stick to. We talked about having really high expectations and setting intentions that are unrealistic, especially with Mars there giving us this like burst of motivation right as the moon is new. Start with 1 or 2 small things you can incorporate into your daily routine, Aries risings. And then if you want to build off of that, you can, but just commit to 1 or 2 things to enhance your wellness routine. Pisces risings. Relationships are in focus for you under this new moon. So how can you better serve the relationships you're already in? This isn't just romantic, any sort of one-on-one partnership, maybe a business partnership, a close friendship that you have, or a romantic relationship. That's what's really in focus with this new moon in Virgo. Where are you giving too much? Pisces risings can be very giving and focused on others, more than themselves, maybe. So get clear on the expectations you have of others in your relationship and on the expectations you have of yourself. This can help you call in more aligned connections when you're really coming back to what's important to you in relationships and what expectations you have, getting clear on those things. And also set intentions around what you want your relationships to look like. Get clear on those expectations and how, we can't make anybody else in relationships show up how we want them to, but we can be the example and show up, like noticing if you're a Pisces rising, I'm not spending enough quality time with my loved ones. I'm going to make it a point in this next cycle to set aside time and be the one to reach out and make that special time with them. And maybe they'll follow suit and understand, oh, their expectations have raised a little bit, so I'm going to meet it and do the same. So intentions around relationships for you and what you expect is going to be really powerful for Pisces risings. Aquarius risings. This is a juicy new moon for you in your 8th house. The 8th house is all about mystery, contracts, bonds, shadow work, what lies beneath, right? It also has this very like sexual energy to it. So it's like energetic merging. So Virgo might be the sign of the Virgin, but Aquarius risings, you are ready to go deep with people, whether that's physically, like you're feeling like that Mars is squaring the new moon. Maybe you're feeling really spicy under this new moon, but not just on a physical level. This is a time to go deeper in the bonds that you already have, you know, getting more intimate, creating more purity in a way by being more intimate and pulling back the layers. If you're an Aquarius rising, you might not be the most comfortable with intimacy, but this new moon is really inviting you to peel back the layers, to put down the guard, and you know, pull up your astronaut shield, let people see the real you and see the purity within you, the true essence of you. What are you hiding from? That's the question to ask yourself under this new moon. What are you hiding from others, and what are you hiding from yourself? Bring it into the light. As the moon gains light over the coming weeks, this new moon kind of sparks that question. What have I been hiding? What have I been holding back? And let that continually be illuminated in your close relationships, in these vulnerable connections that you feel safe in. Let that be illuminated over the coming weeks. Capricorn risings. Big plans are in the cards for you under this new moon. Love this. Intentions that seem grandiose or like high expectations actually feel aligned for you under this new moon because it's in your 9th house, Capricorn risings. So 9th house energy is all about travel, expansion, higher education, publishing. It's just very expansive in every way. So book the trip under the new moon, enroll in the course. I don't want to say take the risk, but make big moves under this new moon. Don't hold yourself back too much. This is the time to commit to expansion in whatever way feels good for you. So even if it's just setting intentions, like I'm going to travel in the next 6 months and this is where I want to go. Even just Googling pictures of the place you want to go, making a vision board for the things you want to learn, the destinations you want to see. You just might surprise yourself about how much you can accomplish and call in the next 6 months, all the places you can go, all the ways you can expand just by declaring bold intentions under this new moon and having faith and optimism that they are possible, because the 9th house is all about having faith and being in that energy of possibility, what's possible for us. So yeah, really here for the big things. Absolutely, absolutely, Capricorn rising. So yeah, just set those bold, big intentions and they are possible for you, especially under this new moon. Sagittarius risings. I see you using standards have been raising again. I was just on Free Prints to create a dream board. Perfect. Amazing. You're already tapping into that new moon energy. Okay, Sagittarius risings. I see you being able to use the picky, detail-oriented energy of the Virgo new moon to do an audit of your long-term goals. So like really going back to the vision that you had for yourself even 6 months, a year, maybe 5-10 years ago, of what you thought your life would look like, what your long-term goals used to be, because we're constantly evolving, we're constantly changing. Do an audit of your long-term goals. What no longer resonates as you are, becoming more and more yourself? What no longer feels aligned for you? And make sure your big dreams, your long-term goals reflect who you're becoming. It's okay to adjust course. Remember that. Remember, it's okay if those big dreams change. Even if you feel like you didn't accomplish them, that's okay. You might even reframe what success looks like to you with this new moon in your 10th house, all about achievement and success, achievement of our long-term goals. So getting clearer on your intentions now and your long-term goals under this new moon can lead to greater success in the coming year, especially if you decide you no longer subscribe to some of the intentions maybe you set or the dreams you had years ago, and getting new long-term goals in order, setting new intentions. That's part of the process of calling in and manifesting, right? Is checking in with ourselves. So this is a really great new moon to check in with your long-term goals, make adjustments. Scorpio risings. how can you best serve your community? The element of service that comes into play with this new moon in Virgo is really big for you because it's in your 11th house. And this is an opportunity to reflect on who you surround yourself with and how you contribute to the community you surround yourself with. Sharing what you bring to the table, your unique magic, your unique gifts can have a really big impact on your community, especially under this new moon. So I would say set intentions about how you want to better your community, whether that's through getting involved with a nonprofit or just deciding, okay, I'm going to be more vulnerable and open with my friends in my community. I'm going to be the leader. I'm going to be the one that organizes and plans things under the Virgo new moon to bring people together. So how are you showing up in your community? What intentions do you have on creating community for yourself? And how are you playing into that or maybe not taking action? Mars is here in Gemini, squaring the new moon to help you take action on creating a community for yourself and actively contributing to the community you create for yourself. And last but not least, our Libra risings. This new moon lands in the 12th house for you. So now is a time for healing. The new moon in Virgo can really bring us back to a place of purity, a place of healing, a place of wellness. Anything that's been weighing heavy on your heart or your mind can be released under this new moon. For you, this new moon, rather than calling more in, feels like it's wiping the slate clean. And under this energy, hold a vision of yourself as healed. I think of, if BB is still here, you said that you've had this hurt foot and you just want a new foot. Hold the vision of your foot as healed. Like, send good energy to your foot. This new moon's in my 12th house too. And I've had like a little bit of, you can probably hear me being nasally. I've had a little bit of like stuff coming up for me. And I just keep saying, like, I see myself as healthy. I see myself as healthy. So trying to get to that place of purity, of wiping the slate clean for ourselves so that we can, once the energy moves into our first house during Libra season, once the sun and moon move there, we do feel renewed. We do feel the opportunity to be reborn. So Libra rising specifically, use this new moon to see yourself as healed, envision yourself as healed, envision yourself as the healthiest possible version of you. And this will signal to the universe and to your body that you're ready to be reborn. You're ready to feel renewed again. So, the 12th house has a lot of magic and spirituality in there, and manifesting when the moon is in our 12th house. Really tap into your spirit guides, tap into your religion, whatever that looks like for you. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. Call on that energy to help you heal yourself, either physically, emotionally, mentally. 12th house energy has a lot of healing and closure, and calling in support, spiritual support, can help us wipe the slate clean again and start the next chapter feeling renewed. You are so welcome. Love that for Scorpio rising, daughter and husband. Yeah, she's starting school soon, and my community is so needed for my partner. I have been feeling the same way about my partner. He's not a Scorpio rising, but she's going to have so much to contribute to her community at school. So maybe even you do something with her, like, how do you feel like you help out in the classroom? Or what do you think is special about you that makes you stand out and that you can contribute to school? And like really helping her own power in community and how special she is and how much of a bright light she is. And even just having a positive attitude, the energy she can put out into her classroom, how powerful that can be. Especially Scorpio risings, Katie, they tend to be a little bit more like closed off when people first meet them. So that could be a great practice as she starts to go back to school. Like, you don't have to have the mask on. Remember, you have all this power within you and you can share it and contribute it to your classroom. Yes, focusing on healing. Beautiful. So am I. Hopefully the next time you see me, I won't sound like I have my nose plugged. All right, so that is the new moon energy. Let's quickly wrap up the weekend with our final transit playing out on Sunday. Venus is opposing Saturn. So this might feel like a little bit of a new moon hangover, I will say. this is happening. Let me see. We'll go forward on our chart here. And Venus opposes Saturn on Sunday at about 11:30 a.m. So midday Sunday. This is really the energy that we round out the weekend with on Sunday. Venus opposing Saturn. Now, remember, we have been talking a lot about Venus, turning a corner in relationships, doing things differently in relationships, having insights come through, seeing new perspectives in the way we relate to other people, to money, and to beauty. Our values, we might have turned a corner in that area as well with all of those things, right? But when Venus opposes Saturn on Sunday, this feels like the Sunday scaries. Venus in Leo is all about joy and pleasure and fun and creativity and passion and expression. And Saturn in Aquarius, Saturn in general, just is like harshing our vibe, you know? And there's really this element of responsibility that comes in when we talk about Saturn. So even if we're in like a playful, fun environment on Sunday, we might find ourselves being like, oh, but I have all these things to do to get ready for the week ahead. You know, we're kind of being pulled between pleasure and responsibility. And this sense of duty could keep us from fully being in that playful expression. This is kind of like being push-pulled into like, I just want to soak up more of the weekend, but also I want to be prepared for the week ahead. So you might find yourself under this transit. You can see it here. That dark red line, I believe is, no, that's Mars. Where's Venus? Where are you? Over here. Venus at 20 degrees, Saturn at 20 degrees. There's that opposition playing out in the chart. So this is a good time also, when we're talking about tailoring the transits to us. Where's 20 degrees Leo in your chart? Where's 20 degrees Aquarius in your chart? Just taking a look at those areas, anything else going on around those points. And maybe that's where you're feeling this pull between play and responsibility in your life. But I just see generally the energy of Sunday being like, we want to stay in the magic of the new moon and in the playfulness of Venus and Leo. But there's constantly this voice in the back of our head, or this feeling we're getting that's like, we have so much to do in the week ahead, and we're kind of getting pulled out of the joy of it all. And that could keep us kind of more distant from relating to other people. You know, we might be more cold because we're just kind of in our head and not fully in the moment on Sunday. Limiting beliefs around money, beauty, relationships could pop up. Remember, as with most things in life, we feel like we turn this corner, relationships are getting a change, and then there could be a fear that pops up of like, what if we go back? What if we have to go back to that place that we were in before? What if we regress? What if? This feels like a big what if, like stopping us from being playful and enjoying our life and fully being in pleasure. So just know that could come up. I like to just tell Saturn to shut up. Like, no, thank you, Saturn. Thanks for showing me what I don't want to feel right now. But I will say Saturn is the planet of karma and lessons. So lessons can be learned in this opposition, this mirroring energy from observing. How are we holding ourselves back from feeling joy, from feeling good? That could be the lesson in itself. You're in this fun environment, you're around other people on Sunday, and then you find yourselves kind of closing off or not fully being present and allowing yourself to feel joy. There's a lesson to be learned there. And, you know, it'll be different for everybody, but how are you holding yourself back? Where are you limiting yourself from fully being in pleasure, in joy, in abundance, in playfulness? That is something that will likely pop up for a lot of us on Sunday. Oh, I got to wrap this up. I've got food waiting for me. Yes, always duality, right? Always duality in life, for sure. Ooh. Makes me want to have more kids. My daughter is too. Aw, yeah, have more kids. We need more enlightened little babies running around. Really working on not shaming myself and just opening my heart without fear. So powerful to just picture myself through loving eyes. And that could be the lesson you learn with Venus opposing Saturn on Sunday, giving yourself permission to be playful, you know, seeing yourself through loving eyes. Your higher self wants you to have fun. You're here to be a human. You're here to play. You're here to feel passion and be free. And sometimes Saturn is like, yeah, but you have to work and you have to make money and you have to do all these responsible things, you know. Oh, 21, not 2. Hey, we need more babies still. So, maybe you still want to have, or maybe you'll be a grandma sooner than you think, So yeah, if you find yourself stopping yourself from feeling joy, ask, what is this feeling showing me? The moon makes a couple different connections on Sunday, and we'll go through them pretty quickly here. So the moon is still in Virgo all day on Sunday. And now it's not the waning crescent moon. It is the waxing crescent moon, actually, because it's just after the new moon. So there we go. Waxing crescent moon in Virgo. We're starting to prepare and plan and build under this new moon. So that's where the responsibility is probably going to come in on Sunday, where we're like, okay, but we have this to-do list and we have things to do that kind of pulls us out at the present moment. At 5 a.m. Sunday, the moon harmonizes with Uranus. We have this nice trine between the moon and Uranus. And it feels like every day this weekend, we just kind of like wake up with excitement, a burst of energy. That's nice. We love that. And you can see here, 17-degree moon is harmonizing with Uranus over here. This makes us crave a thrill. Again, we're more open to shifts in plans, changes, excitement, things like that on Sunday. So plans might change on Sunday, but it'll feel exciting and fun rather than like a burden. Just stay open Sunday morning. It can even like coming off of the energy of the new moon, you might be thinking about the intentions you set maybe on Saturday night, and you wake up and you're like excited about everything you can accomplish with the moon harmonizing with Uranus. But we could feel like making the most of this Sunday as well with Virgo, the moon in Virgo, by like getting into work mode. So it's again this duality between work versus play, and the moon harmonizing with Uranus is going to give us the energy and the urge to do whatever like feels good, but really lean into activities that make you feel playful and free. That will be good for the soul under Sunday's energy as the moon harmonizes with Uranus. In the afternoon, the moon opposes Neptune. This is at 4 p.m. So as the day starts to wind down, I really feel like the moon opposing Neptune can bring in a little bit of maybe some confusion, delusion, where we get into that, like, should I be working or should I be playing right now? Should I be preparing or should I just be soaking up the moment of Sunday? You can see the moon at 23 degrees, Neptune at 24 degrees. There's that opposition playing out there. And you can see the X because, Saturn and Venus also opposing each other. So, you might just be confused. You might feel a little bit like cloudy cognition, clouded judgment. We want clarity with the moon in Virgo, but Neptune in Pisces is like clarity. What's that? Like, we're just here to dream a little bit longer. So again, this push-pull dynamic between work and play, between reality and fantasy. And this transit does remind us in a really nice way that even if we can't fully make sense of the intentions we set under the new moon, even if our vision of the future is a little bit blurry, it can help us in that foggy state be more in the present moment. So I just see Sunday afternoon like, be in the present moment. Don't get too weighed down by responsibility, by your to-do list, by all the things you have to do with Saturn and the Virgo moon. You don't have to have a perfectly laid plan now. I almost see this opposition between the moon and Neptune as like permission to just be in that Sunday haze, be in that Sunday fog, and like let it be, And then the final transit we have this weekend is a trine between the moon and Pluto. And this is at 8 p.m. Pacific time on Sunday night. So jump ahead a few hours here, and you can see the moon at 26 degrees harmonizing with Pluto. Pluto, the planet of death and rebirth. It really feels like a nice end cap to this new moon energy as the moon prepares to move into Libra to start the week. It's like the moon harmonizing with Pluto marks the end of a cycle and the beginning of a new one. Perfect timing to start a new week as well, just really helping us lean into transformation in a lot of ways, letting that transformation unfold, and allowing us to flow through it. You know, we're ready to start our week with fresh energy as the moon harmonizes with Pluto. We're ready to feel reborn under this new moon, especially this pure new moon energy in Virgo. It does feel like a baptism in a way. And we can easily understand at this point when the moon is harmonizing with Pluto on Sunday night, we can easily see what's been cleared away, what's been washed away from our life, so we can make space to be reborn, to be available for new growth and new opportunity. It feels like this trine between the Virgo moon and Pluto is that moment that the butterfly starts to come out of the cocoon. So I love that for us. It feels like this pinnacle point of transformation coming out of this new moon. Yeah, Moon Neptune sounds great, right? Just be in the fogginess, like just be on a nice cloud of pillows and just enjoy the weekend a little bit longer. Okay, no more babies for you. Daughter doesn't want kids. Oh my goodness, but you have kittens. All right, well, you have little like kitten spirit babies. And I could see you, you know, not actually adopting, but like, you know, being that person for your friends' kids or their grandkids, just being that like fun energy for people to feel safe in. Okay, everyone. Those are the transits for the weekend. Let's come back to our affirmation of the weekend. And this is not even the correct affirmation. Let me find the right one for you guys. Again, leaning into my imperfections. And you know what? I'm going to pull up the affirmation I specifically wrote for the new moon in Virgo. And it's a simple one. It's an easy one to remember. And it's a great one to say or call in as you are maybe manifesting or setting intentions under the new moon. And that is, my intentions are pure. Even just stating that to the universe, my intentions are pure. What I'm calling in is coming from a place of purity, of service, of love. My intentions are pure under this pure new moon in Virgo. And we'll end today's episode, today's very long chat, with a 3-card tarot pull. I'm going to pull from the Light Seers tarot deck. Feels very resonant with this new moon, being able to see the light, being able to have a fresh start in this new moon energy. Thank you. My intentions are pure. Yeah. Simple, easy to remember, and super powerful. So, if anybody actually on that note would like to share their intentions in the comments, that can be a really powerful way, but no pressure, no pressure. If you feel like you want to speak your intentions out by writing them or sharing them with the group so we can hold space for them, be happy to co-create with you and the universe. And we'll do a 3-card pull for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, what we need to know for each day. And then we'll get started on our weekend. I've been reflecting a lot on how this stream, you know, thinking about daily routines and rituals. I've been reflecting a lot on how this stream has become my daily ritual, my moments of insight and clarity and setting intentions coming from doing this stream with you all and being in community with you all, which is perfect because Aquarius rules my 6th house, and my Saturn is in Aquarius. I don't know why I just brought up Aquarius, but community, 6th house, daily routines. That's why I brought it up. Anyway, I'm getting delusional at this point. My intention is to be available. What a beautiful intention, and really aligning with the energy of service in a lot of ways, right? To be available. I love that. My intentions are being of service to others. No expectations, just giving and doing from my heart. Pure intentions right there. And so perfect for this new moon in Virgo. Okay, let's take a deep breath together. Breathe in. What do we need to know? The Hermit is the first card, which rules Virgo. The Emperor is the second card. And the World is the third card. Ooh, these are some great messages already. I always give the disclaimer, I am not a tarot expert, but I already love the vibe of these cards. Bree says, really calling in a high vibrational circle that I can lean in for advice and ways to connect with my higher self. And you already have it. You're starting the 40-day Kundalini with Cass, you have that high vibe circle. We're part of that high vibe circle. You have so many people around you. And so it is. It's already there. Love the world for Sunday. Yeah. Okay. Let's read the guidebook. What do these mean? Okay. So number 9, the Hermit. Again, this is associated with Virgo energy. Inner reflection, meditation, contemplation, soul searching, inner wisdom, spiritual mentor, finding your guide within, taking time away from the chaos of a busy life, and hermiting. That's our card for Friday. It's time to make space for your sacred aloneness and self-care. If you are feeling disconnected from your spiritual north, it's time. This time of solitary withdrawal will help you to connect with your own compass. Soul purpose, spiritual awakening, and deep inner wisdom spring from this energy. Sometimes we run the risk of being so introspected that we lose our connections to others, or worse, we can dive so deeply into our stories of struggle that we inadvertently begin to believe that our wounds will be part of our forever identity. In the deepest trenches of self-discovery, we must remember that our continual search for our own healing and inner truth does not mean that we are not already whole and healed. Emerge from your inner retreat with beautiful insights from spirit and allow yourself to navigate the path with your brightly illuminated heart. Inner sage, inner mentor, inner guide, show me my brightest light so that I may see with all of my heart. This really feels like tapping into the energy of this new moon in so many ways. It talks about being in our own stories, believing our wounds will be forever part of our identity. Really just a beautiful card. Going within, finding that inner wisdom, finding that inner light this Friday as the moon moves into Virgo. Okay, our Saturday card is the Emperor, card number 4. And here's what it says. The Emperor for Saturday is the divine masculine, authority, power, a natural leader, structure, strategic and analytical thinking, taking action, and promotion. This really feels like the new moon squaring Mars in a lot of ways already. The Emperor's message is one of ambitions met and success found. Often seen as the card of the divine masculine, the Emperor brings forth a desire to build a better world one brick at a time. Use your mind as well as your heart and rise to power as you lead your own evolution. While becoming your own emperor means infinite possibility for your success, it also means addressing any issues you harbor around authority, control, and willpower. Hello, new moon squaring Mars. You may need to work your magic within the confines of establishment, but remember that the organizing principles of societies are fluid over time. Remain flexible and keenly aware of your own energetic boundaries and motives. Find opportunities to be of service to others as you build your empire. Step into this fiery energy of success and rise, sweet light seer. Embody confident, compassionate leadership and exercise sovereignty over your own reality. Okay, this card ends with the phrase, "The world is yours." And then our Sunday card is the world. How is that for alignment? Wow. Okay. So our Saturday card really inviting us to take small actions, one step at a time. And those small actions can build over time. Remain flexible and aware of your energetic boundaries and motives, really leaning into that new moon squaring Mars energy. And then our Sunday card, I flipped right to it, of course, is the world. Completion, joy, wholeness, achievement, happy endings, abundance, success, new levels of consciousness, literally traveling the world. We love this for Sunday. Ooh. The world brings one of the most positive and abundant messages in the tarot deck. Congratulations, you've come so far. A large project or period of your life is coming to a successful conclusion, and it's time to revel in the sweet afterglow of your success. If you're not quite there yet, take this card as a sign that you're on the right path. Consciously step into the world's ascension energy and welcome this beautiful shift as your inner spiritual landscape merges with your outer reality. As you reach this stage of fruition, remain focused. Don't slacken your resolve as you glimpse the magic at the end of the long journey, because it's time to follow through with your final steps and complete the cycle. Even in shadow, the world is a positive card that signals bliss and happy endings with oodles of positive energy on the way. I accept this gift of completion and I ascend to new levels of awareness and wholeness. I am love. Wow. It really, like, this progression of these cards is like going within, getting into the nitty-gritty of your pure intentions under the Virgo New Moon tonight, then taking those small actions, really assessing your own boundaries, how you're serving other people, how your actions affect others. And then it feels like this completion of the new moon taking us to new levels, helping us ascend, helping us reach for more optimism, joy. And this card feels like, and so it is, saying your intentions and believing that they're already coming to you, that they're already true. Ooh, oodles, right? We love the word oodles. I love that that's written into the deck. Wow is right. Love that. Everything feeling aligned for me. Of course it is. So beautiful. Literally tears over the Sunday card. The message you were meant to hear, Katie. I love that you're here. I love that you're here. So beautiful. All right, everybody, I'm going to lose my voice before this stream is over, so I'm going to leave it there. I hope you all have a beautiful weekend. I hope you set some beautiful, pure intentions for yourself, for the people around you under this new moon in Virgo. And you know where to find me if you need me. If you found this video helpful, please go ahead and like and subscribe so we can continue sharing this information for free. It's so important for me as a Virgo to be in the energy of service and showing up for you all to help you align with your highest timeline, with your best self. And I just encourage you to soak in the beautiful energy of this new moon this weekend. It's a powerful one. Thank you. This gives me life, so I'm happy to be here. Happy to be here. I love you all. I'm so grateful for you showing up as part of this community we're building together. What we're creating it blows me away every day. And I'm so lucky to be in this seat, chatting with you all daily, sending everybody hugs and love. So grateful for you showing up for yourself. Go eat your toast. This is the smack I need to get off this stream. Thank you, everybody. I love you. I will see you right back here on Monday morning with a new episode of Transits Today. But until I see you next, stay curious. Thank you so much for joining us and aligning with the energy of the universe today. If you enjoyed this morning's episode of Transits Today, you can join our live astrology discussion every weekday morning right here wherever you're watching. And head to thespiritualjournalist.com to read your daily astrology forecast and browse the Spiritual Shop. The most fun way to help keep these forecasts free and support more content like this is to buy yourself a little something on our website. But if you're feeling extra generous, you can also buy me a coffee to fuel future live streams. Just tap the link in the description or head to buymeacoffee.com and search The Spiritual Journalist. And speaking of, you can also tune in to The Spiritual Journalist, our weekly live interview where we ask our guests questions about everything from crystals and manifestation to mental health and the environment. Those conversations stream live right here wherever you're watching now every Tuesday. I'm so grateful you found us here, and I can't wait for our next conversation.